The Torah contains two psukim that are important to understand what our position on sakana, on danger, should be. Danger in general, and the danger that might derive from eating foods that should not be eaten. The first pasuk, Perek Daled, Dvarim Perek Daled, Pasuk Tetvav. V'nishmartem ma'od l'nafshotechem. One should be very careful about himself, about his essence, his being. This lends itself to many agaric interpretations, but we understand that there's a general obligation that we have to be watchful for the body and the soul that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us. And that obligation will be fulfilled if we pay attention, if we listen, if we understand clearly what Chazal want of us, for example. The other pasuk is also in Perek Daled, in Dvarim, and in pasuk Tet it says, Rak hishamer lecha ushmor nafshecha ma'od. Be watchful and watch out for your soul very much. So these two psukim are indicative of the position of the Torah. And that position was redefined by Chazal, who said this. They said you have to understand that sakanta chamira me'isura, which means sakanta, a sakana, a danger that you might be in, from any reason at all, is more stringent than even an isur that's given in the Torah. Because we know that in the Torah, an isur, a prohibition, if there's a safek, if we have doubt whether, we don't know whether this is something that's treif or something that's kosher. We don't know. So that there are rules by which we can determine what this particular object or item, what category it falls into. Sometimes we'll see that the Safek, if it's a Safek, yes, no, so we're always machmir on a doraisa, like we don't know if this is kosher fat or treif fat, then we're machmir, we'll say it's treif fat. But what if there are 10 stores, and 9 of them are kosher, and 1 of them is treif, and we have some meat that came, unpackaged, unmarked in an unmarked package. We don't know if it comes from the treif store or the kosher store, so it's a safek, but we can determine that the safek is mutar, because 9 of the stores are kosher. So that a safek midaoraita, sometimes if you have doubt about something, and that doubt is a doraita level kind of doubt, there are times when we say, okay, we can eat it. We have doubt, but we can eat it nonetheless. That's what we say. But when it comes to sakanta, when the doubt is about sakanta, then we have to be machmir. You can't take a chance. You see, if there's a question of eating something that's treif, and the Torah tells us that in a particular situation it's mutar, you're allowed to eat it, all right. But if there's doubt about whether something is going to cause you great physical damage, the Torah doesn't say that you can make a decision that it's not going to cause you physical damage. In other words, you can't apply the rules of Safek in the same way to sakanta, to physical danger, as you do to isura, which is entirely confined within the context of the Torah itself. And so we know that there's this principle, sakanta chamira me'isura, that when it comes to a sakana, even if we have doubts as to whether that particular sakana will affect me negatively, I have to be machmir. I have to make sure that I don't involve myself in that sakana.